everyone. Welcome back to the Pink Stairs Women on the Rise podcast. Today's guest is Antoinette Ellis, CEO and co-founder of Ace& Co. Ltd. And she is an advocate for STEAM education, corporate sustainability, and community empowerment. Antoinette, thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
All right, with that, let's get right into it. So, like we mentioned, you've worked in various sectors from education to sustainability, but how did you find your path into the world of STEAM, social responsibility, and what continues to inspire you in this space? Especially now, STEM is such a popular thing, so what made you go to STEAM instead of STEM?
Good question. So, where can I start? My whole journey has always been about giving back, no matter what it is I was doing, no matter what industry I was in. And it really started after running my own event management business for 9.5 years and being burnt out. I felt like I'm not at my full potential. I'm not being able to give back the way that I wanted to.
Mm.
Which then led me to work with a nonprofit organization, which was amazing, but that was a contract, which then led me to work at a global tech company. And that's where I learned about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. So my role there was corporate social responsibility manager, and I was in charge of all of the volunteer programming for across Canada and supported the US. While I was there, I was noticing that there was the word STEAM throwing around, but not really a heavy focus on what STEAM is. And there's a word about STEM, but also not realizing that the girls don't really seem that they're much interested. And so I started to do a little bit deeper. At the time, my husband was like, you're doing a lot of speaking engagements. That should be your focus. But I'm like, everybody has a story to tell. I want mine to be a little bit different, which led me to Googling to see, well, what exactly is the arts in STEAM and how do I learn more about that if that's where I want to go? Well, it opened up a whole new world for me, just understanding when you integrate the arts into STEM, making it STEAM, it's so much more than just what people think coding and technology.
Mhm.
Now, one is not better than the other. It's not like STEM is better than STEAM or STEAM is better than STEM. If you're thinking about $100 bill, it's different on both sides, right?
Mhm.
But it's still the same value. It's the same way with STEM and STEAM. It's still the same value. Doesn't matter which one you go to. And, that led me down the path to becoming an arts integration specialist in STEAM. And yeah, so much more doors were open. So that's where my journey has taken me. That's how I'm here in a very short term without all the details, but I'm
Mhm.
loving where I am.
That's fantastic. Oh my God, I love that analogy. Two sides of the same $100 bill. Different, but it's still the same value. That's
Yes.
that's amazing way to think about it. So, in your field of STEAM, how do you stay grounded and kind of reconnect with why you started this whenever you have to come over challenges, whenever you have to overcome little speed bumps?
So how I stay grounded is reminding myself what is the purpose.
Hmm.
So as I mentioned before, when I was running my event management business, I had a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of stress.
Hmm.
But it was also a lot of details that I felt like there wasn't any substance to. No offense to people out there that loves to throw a good party. That's all good. But it came to a point where I didn't care about what shade of pink it was,
Hmm.
right? And so for me to keep grounded is always to remember what my purpose is. And I've always wanted to be able to give back, always wanted to be able to inspire and empower people. And when I remember what my focus is, that's what keeps me grounded.
All right. So our next general question is, you mentioned that you're an arts integration specialist. So that is such a unique qualification. So how do you incorporate arts into science, technology, engineering, and math? What does this qualification imply? And why is it important for students and professionals today to put in art into STEM?
Okay, so a lot of times when people hear STEM, they think coding and technology, and some students may think, well, that's not me. That's not who I am.
Hmm.
Well, in actuality, technology is a tool that we use regardless of what industry we're in. Now, A lot of people think, well, if I paint a robot, then I'm doing a STEAM activity. Well, no. Arts isn't just about painting a robot to make it STEAM.
Mhm.
What I've learned to understand as becoming a certified arts integration specialist, when you incorporate the arts, it's all of the arts. So it's visual arts, it's theater, it's dance, it's music, it's also media arts. So as an arts integration specialist, I had learned how to incorporate all of those arts into science, technology, engineering, and math. When you do that, I like to always say we tie it back to what careers are available so that students understand what's available to them.
Mhm.
So, why is this important? When I was in school, I did not know half of the careers that were available until after I graduated, until after I started going into different career paths. So we can inspire students right now to see about what are the different professional careers out there that might be an interest to those who may not even interested in coding, or realizing that they have an interest in coding, but they have also an interest in arts. Like, what career paths can they take in that way? So this whole journey of becoming certified has really inspired me to empower others to understand the difference because I still get met with those questions. Oh, you mean STEM, not STEAM. I'm like, no, I mean STEAM. So just to give you an example, some of the career paths when you think about integrating arts, it could be anywhere from a mechanical and civil engineer, an
Mhm.
architect, a website app designer, a modern urban planner, or even an animator. And in some cases, even a photographer or a fashion designer, right? Then we have like a sound engineer, which is also my background, video gamer designer, and the list goes on. So when you're incorporating that arts, that creativity piece, that design piece to whatever it is, if it's science and technology, engineering, arts, and math,
Mhm.
you're opening up a whole new world of what's available. And in my field, I've been able to interview uh, one of my favorite people, Dr. Merritt Moore. She is a quantum physicist and a professional ballerina.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. And during COVID, when we weren't allowed to have we had to be social distancing, and she couldn't dance with anyone, she programmed a robot to dance with her.
Oh my
So
God.
here's a woman, exactly, that took her art skill, dance, and worked with it with math, right? So at these days, if you could get students to understand that you don't have to choose one or the other. If you're really passionate about it, let's see how we can make that work. And being a certified arts integration specialist allows me to coach educators on how to integrate art into those things and have those career discussions with students, which is why it's so important.
Yeah. I really resonate with the whole career thing. I feel like, especially as a student myself, I don't get enough time to actually explore this whole world. And I've kind of strayed away from tech because coding just really scares me. But honestly, like when I really think about it, yeah, I could do tech, maybe not coding, but STEAM is definitely a field that has so much diversity down it. I could 100% consider it. Now,
Exactly. And you don't have to be afraid of coding either, because that'll open up a whole other doors too, right?
exactly. It's analytical thinking. Oh,
Hmm.
so amazing. So, you mentioned this about your little ballerina quantum physicist friends.
Hmm.
So, how do you approach building these kinds of relationships and these kinds of partnerships in your work? And what's the key to ensuring they're both meaningful and sustainable and impact you?
Yeah, so I like to make sure that I want to meet all kinds of people that have the same kind of focus, right? So with Ace and Co, one of our focus is the Sustainable Development Goal number 5, which is gender equality. And when you get to meet other organizations and other workforces that are having the same goal, then it's easier. It's like, why do things separately? Why not partner together and see what we can accomplish together, what greater impact that we can do? So I love meeting people and I love meeting where they're at. I love to know how can I relate with different audiences and how can I bring awareness, right? So all of those things, being able to partner with people is amazing.
So, partnering with people is a really big reason why Ace and Co exists. So, when you partner with people and there are moments where values or visions may not align, how do you navigate those kinds of challenges?
Okay, so first, let's start with this. ACE is actually my name. It's Antoinette C. Ellis and Company. So in
Oh,
my company name itself, the and company is with people.
mhm,
And that has been the focus from the very beginning. And it really depends. If somebody's vision doesn't align with my vision, it doesn't mean that we can't be friends.
mhm,
We can find other ways that we can work together if the goal is still the same common goal. They might have a different strategy or a different way of doing things. Doesn't mean that it's because it's different than mine that it's wrong,
mhm,
right? So it's really understanding people and understanding, okay, how do we approach this partnership? What is the goal that we're trying to accomplish here? If the end goal is the same, why not be open and flexible to see how we can partner together,
mhm. So
right?
it's all about keeping that open mind.
Yes, yes. My whole journey, my whole life has been about being flexible.
Mhm,
So I might say, okay, I want to go to B, but on my way from A, I've met I met this person, I met that person, I met, someone said, "Hey, why don't you try this?" Or I think you might good at this, or and it's just amazing of all these different skill sets that I built along the way that made me go in all these different directions.
mhm.
But it's awesome where I am now, and I'm not over. It's not over. There's still
Never
so
over.
much to do,
Mhm. Nice. Okay.
right?
So speaking about it being never over, students
hmm
drowning in work right now, do you have any advice for students that might be a little stuck on their career and maybe looking into a career in this field?
Yes. So we talked about flexibility.
Hmm.
Be flexible and be kind to yourself. So at Ace and Co, we also do avoiding burnout workshops for students and professionals. And one of the key things we say is try to notice when things are changing for you.
Hmm.
Try to notice those little signs. When you start to feel like you're too tired, take a break. Take 5 minutes, look away from the screen, go take a walk, do something kind of refreshing, and then go back to it. The thing is, it may seem hard right now, but it's gonna be worth it because no matter what you do in life, you're gonna take what you've learned with you, all these different places that you're gonna go.
Hmm.
So be kind to yourself, be flexible, and take those breaks.
Oh, that's so sweet. So you're a keynote speaker
Mhm.
you've been a keynote speaker at many different places and you are a regular mentor. And I just asked you a question on what advice you would give students. But has there ever been a moment that a student has taught you something you never knew about yourself, something you never knew about the world, and what you took from it?
Oh my gosh, I learned so much from all kinds of students. I've been so grateful to work with so many different kinds of students. And what I could say is a lot of students these days have more guts than I did when I was younger,
Hmm.
that are taking more chances and that are doing more things. And that has taught me about myself now that, okay, like certain things I can, I could venture into something new. So before you might think because of age or whatnot, um, you're not going to have time to learn this thing or whatnot. But just talking to younger folks that are like, hey, yeah, this is what I'm doing. It's so easy. You could just try it. I'm like open. And because you students are born in an era where everything is available to their fingertips, which is easier for them. Where in my day, like I remember when the cell phone just first came out. I remember getting the first VCR, you know what I mean? Like it was definitely a different time. And yeah, I find that students today are more flexible and because they have all these things at their fingertips that they're always willing to teach me something and I'm always willing to learn something new. So
Right.
it's a give and take, I should say.
Yeah. You give something and you get something in
Oh,
return.
yeah, totally. I get to share my past experience that's going to help them in their future, and they get to share with me with what's going on right now, so it keeps me on the edge.
Nice. So speaking on sharing your past experiences, you do a lot of presentations. So how do you keep your presentations engaging and encourage others to follow their passions? And we as the Pink Stairs, we really like to focus on women in male-dominated fields, specifically in STEM and STEAM. So especially in male-dominated industries, how do you keep your students engaged and encouraged to continue down this road?
So if you're passionate about it, don't let anybody, dampen that passion.
Mhm.
So many times we let little experiences that somebody said something or said, oh, you can never do that, or oh, that's mostly for girls, or that's mostly for men. Like, no, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have something, a little bit of light in you that says, I want to explore it,
Mhm.
do it, see where it can take you. When it comes to working in male-dominated fields, I can say that a lot of my encouragement have come from other males
Mhm.
who were able to help me further along in my career. So I graduated as an audio engineer years ago, decades ago, and I was one of two females that actually graduated. But it was my male colleagues that helped me make sure that I did graduate, that helped me when I didn't understand something. So I'm always saying to people, it doesn't matter if someone is not there that doesn't look like you, take up space anyway. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. And you'll be surprised that those men that are there, there will be some that will be able to help you along the way, that they're willing to share their experiences with you. So how do I keep my presentations engaging? By making sure that people understand to connect at a human level before anything else. So before we talk about what gender you are or what you want to identify as, let's start off as a human level. What is it that you want to do? How can we make sure that we make that happen?
Mhm.
And I make sure that's the message goes throughout any presentation I'm doing. It doesn't matter what the topic is. I'm making sure that I'm appealing to my audience and meeting them where they're at. And I always say, if you don't see somebody that doesn't look like you, it's okay. Be the trailblazer. Be
Mhm.
that person to push forth and bring others along with you.
Mhm. Yeah. So you've worked in a lot of different fields, like you've mentioned. You started off as an audio engineer, which is crazy, and now you've gone into nonprofit work, which is so amazing, and STEAM work, and it's fantastic. So you've had many projects, many initiatives happen. Can you share a specific one that you're particularly proud of? And how did it align with your values of social responsibility and who you are as a person?
Okay, so when I was dreaming up this Ace and Co idea in empowering women and girls in STEAM, one of my main focus was always to see how we can have a scholarship. And I was able to do that, I think it was 2 years ago, partnering with Toronto Metro University. And I'm so proud of that because part of our proceeds, we're a social enterprise. So part of our proceeds, no doesn't matter who works with us, part of those proceeds goes towards that scholarship. And when I get to meet the young woman that gets to win this scholarship and how it's able to help her push forward, oh my gosh. I'm like I'm like this is the reason why.
Hmm.
This is it. So a lot of our workshops is for everybody, it doesn't matter what gender it is, but the key sweet spot for us is making sure that women have spaces even in the male dominated areas, and our scholarship helps to do with that. So I'm very proud of that.
That's amazing. Oh, Toronto Metropolitan?
Yeah, Toronto Metro University,
Oh.
TMU, and it's called the Ace and Co. Empower Her Award. And we just actually released the interview with the second award recipient that just went out yesterday. And the next scholarship will be available October, I believe October this year.
Ooh, apply, apply, apply.
Apply, apply, apply. So if you're a student at TMU and you're pursuing a STEAM education, look for the Ace and Co. Empower Her Award.
All right. So you've done a lot. You have, oh my God. You've done a lot. You were an audio engineer. You created scholarships empowering women. You shared your knowledge as a STEAM educator. You've done it all. So, what's next for you? Are there any new projects or passions that you're currently pursuing that you're really excited about that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, so right now I'm really excited of that we've been able to develop a number of workshops for students in higher education. So whether it's university or college, and we're excited to see who we can partner with. So corporations that believe in gender diversity,
Mhm.
that are working with Sustainable Development Goal number 5, we would love to partner with them to sponsor workshops and coaching for students. And we're excited because our workshops are about being able to speak in confidence. Doesn't have to be speaking on a stage, but maybe it's leading a project, as well as coaching for leadership development skills and all that stuff. So we're very excited about that, and we're excited to see who we're going to partner with to make it happen.
All right. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for joining me this episode. Now, before we go, where can our listeners kind of connect with you? And are there any upcoming events or projects that you are like, hey, guys, apply, sign up?
So I told you about the Empower Her Award. So when
Yep.
that's coming out, students apply. You can reach me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Ace& and Co. Ltd. You can visit us on our website, which is aceandco.ca, or email us at info@aceandco.ca. And yeah, and reach out. We're always looking to see who we can partner with, who we can collaborate with. We have a number of different workshops that are available, so let me know. And a number of different coaching as well, coaching packages available as well. So reach out to us and let's see what we can do together.
All right. Thank you so much, Antoinette Ellis, for joining me today. Your vision, your voice, and your leadership in STEAM and just as a person is so inspiring. And I cannot wait to see you where you go next.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much for listening. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.